Taxstone is back for his annual hating session. Now, today was a sad day for a lot of podcast fans. Just seeing what has become of Taxstone is really gut-wrenching, right? This was a dude who we once considered the best podcast in the world about 8 years ago, or somebody who was the best podcast in the quote-unquote streets, and to see how far he has fallen and how he just can't let it go, it's just sad in general. I have other videos on Taxstone that you can watch to see the full downfall, but the quick cliff note is Taxstone was once a rising podcaster, and now he's serving 35 years in jail for essentially being a hater.
At the end, after the legal arguments were done, after it was determined that there would be consecutive sentences, after Judge Klott said that he wanted them to be consecutive to show the 4 victims additional time of state, Daryl Campbell spoke, and he said it was all Troy Ave's fault, that Troy Ave attacks anyone that attacks his music, that he's a jokester, that he only took a gun into the club in Irving Plaza to protect himself, that he always has felt that he would be attacked, therefore he had to have a gun. There was reference made to the federal case, which is pending before Judge Schofield. It's a felon in possession case. He did plead to that, and the prosecution said he only pled to that because of the potential larger exposure in federal court for not pleading out. We're going to follow that as well.
It's a sad case. I mean, he lost his. He's spending the next 30 years in prison, 35 years in prison. So his life is damn near lost. And then Banger, which was the
Taxstone went from being one of the leaders in a thriving new industry to spending 35 years in jail, all because he was a hater, all because he didn't know how to leave people alone, all because he chose to harass people and chose to be a bully instead of just leaving people alone. You see, Taxstone antagonized and instigated drama and beef with Troy Ave. Taxstone decided to go to a show that he knew Troy Ave was going to be at, went all around the building, snuck a gun in, and eventually used the gun to kill Troy Ave's best friend, right? And he did all of this the same week he had a new MTV deal, had a new podcast deal coming. This is what we call a certified crash out dummy. This isn't standing on business, bro. This is throwing away millions of dollars because you want to be a hater. Now, what's even worse in terms of the street aspect of it is that Taxstone ain't even handle his candle the right way, right? After he got caught up in the prison system fighting a murder, he decided to throw other people under the bus. Some will say it's snitching. I don't know, because I'm not a street dude, so I can't define what snitching is, right? But Bosco, who is a street dude from LA, he will say that Taxstone actually snitched on Troy Ave.
But Taxstone, the one that really ratted on blood. Taxstone really did rat on blood, though. Taxstone, the one that did implicate blood, was snitching on, wrote a letter to the judge, and everybody screaming, free tax, free tax. That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's a lengthy letter, but in the letter, Taxstone and his lawyer would tell a judge that Troy Ave and his team is responsible for multiple shootings all across New York, and they're responsible for beating up, threatening, and bullying multiple recording artists. Like, he would also claim, bro, the gun was found in Troy Ave's car, so why isn't Troy Ave being charged with it? It was just some nasty work, but again, I'm not a street dude, so I can't tell you what snitching is. And while Troy Ave was still fighting a case in court, awaiting sentencing, still trying to figure out how he can get out of his situation, while Taxstone was in court telling the judge, that Troy Ave attacked him and, and Troy Ave did him dirty and Troy Ave tried to jump him and Troy Ave is the menace.
Taxstone was very adamant, very dramatic. He kept insisting I was attacked. He kept using that word attacked, right? I was attacked. I was jumped. I was protecting myself. That was what he kept saying over and over. He said Troy Ave is somebody who has a history of attacking people who don't like his work, don't like his music. I am just someone who I'll joke about everyone. I joked about Troy Ave. I didn't, threaten Troy Ave. I didn't bully Troy Ave like they tried to say in the trial. I joke about everybody.
Like Troy Ave said, man, the streets is a myth, right? But nonetheless, though, Taxstone is facing all of this. He's currently serving a 35-year sentence, has another federal case he has to go through. So he has a lot on his plate. And I feel like he's slowly realizing, man, it's over with for me, bro. Like, I dropped the ball, bro. I'm never getting out. I'm never going back to podcasting. I'm never going to have a real career again. But instead of going out in grace, Taxstone is having a hard time coming to the realization that it's over with. And he's coping with this fall off by hating on the other dudes who are currently doing something that didn't throw away their lives. And that's essentially what today's Twitter space was about. Taxstone did a Twitter space with Danny from the Stop, where he essentially went at Joe Budden, Nori, Man Worth a Game, and all the other dudes who are doing something with their lives while he's rotting away in jail.
Mad respectful, cool dude, made me drinks and all that. So, and this is that I've been speaking to my whole time in jail, literally my whole time. And I'm mad because I tell her, do not talk about my friend. My friend is dead. And when my friend was alive, you never spoke ill of him. And you was trying to get a job for my friend for years, trying to get a job. And I could be honest and tell people like, yo, the real shit was that he didn't take it at first because he didn't want the rest of the crowd that he had. When he had Joe Buttons and Marissa Mendez, that's when it was called I'll Name This Podcast Later. So when you sitting there talking shit about combat and then you saying, oh yeah, Tax is a worker.
This is how much of a hater Taxstone is. Taxstone needs a reason to hate people so bad, so he just makes up stuff and lie, right? So Taxstone made up this entire story that Joe Budden and Nori dissed Combat Jack when it's not true. As a matter of fact, anybody who heard the discussion would say, bro, we don't think that they was dissing Combat Jack. If anything, they was dissing you, Taxstone, and all the workers under the network. They wasn't dissing the owner of the network, Combat Jack. Like, that don't even make sense, right? But Taxstone will make this up in his head so he can have something to hate on and go at them over. So here is exactly what Joe Budden and Nori said about Combat Jack.
That's how I know you're going crazy. Talk to me about this Warner deal, man.
Yes.
Come on, let us pocket watch.
It's probably the best audio deal in rap podcast history.
No, you shouldn't on me now. Hold up.
A lot of y'all dudes was out here giving y'all YouTubes away for free. Y'all was signed to, what's that shit, Sound? What was the shit that Tax and all of them was signed to?
Oh, it's going on.
What's that label? Dude named Matt ran it.
Oh shit, he dropped it.
Everyone.
Get the hate out.
All of them was
We from
on,
Queens.
Yes.
We from Queens. We are from Queens.
All of them was on this label giving they YouTubes away for free. I'm the first dude that had a 3 deal for the same crack.
Combat Jack was co-owner of Loudspeaker Network with Chris Moreau. So I don't think he was throwing a shot at Combat Jack. I think he sort of like misspoke or grouped everybody in at some point. But Combat Jack was the owner, right? So Tax and them was giving their IPO to Combat Jack for absolutely free. Now, I believe Tax was independent at some point, so I don't think Tax, like even Tax don't fit into that characterization of giving his IP away for free, because I don't think Tax gave his IP away for anything, right? But nonetheless, though, Taxstone would take that as, oh my God, Nori is throwing, a hominin personal attack at Combat Jack when it's just not the case at all. So, Tax will go ahead and just start hating, bro. Like, just start making up stuff, claiming that Nori and others were like buying fake views and buying fake plays and all their numbers were fake.
You never did better numbers than me. I got ads before you. Y'all niggas started falsifying y'all ads, and this is real talk. Tristan Walker, them niggas will tell on that. Nori, all of them was faking their numbers because they said, Tax, how the f you selling 300 razors and these niggas is selling 20? And they talking about they got 1 million views on their show and they got 1 million followers. I said, I'm not here to tell you that, man. Those is good dudes. And I left it alone like I knew nothing was going on. But this is why Nori not on CBS now, because they was there faking their numbers at CBS. The first couple episodes, they acting like they got 2 million hits and shit, and the CBS found out and they ain't want to pay up. But you got these weird ass niggas talking shit to me when I'm a nigga who came from the street and knew my business.
This sounds like a whole lot of I remember. Bro, give it up, man. Like, the Joe Budden and Nori episode took place over a year ago. Taxstone has already addressed this on Twitter in unhinged series of 100+ tweets. So Taxstone has already addressed this, right? Like, him going on this like coke binge, uncomfortable jailhouse bunk rant against the dudes who are actually doing something, bro. It's just a bad look to me, right? Because what do you mean they're faking numbers? Okay, cool. Even if they were faking numbers at that time, right? Which even that I still doubt, because Taxstone have accused me of faking numbers, and I asked him, okay, like, where is your proof? And he said, oh, I'm gonna call my white boys to, all right, bro, like, do your thing, right? Like, do your thing. So like Taxstone have accused everybody, right, of faking numbers. So even if they were faking numbers back then, like you can't deny the impact that Drink Champs and Joe Budden podcast have today. The Drink Champs and Joe Budden podcast today are lit podcasts, and they're top of the top of hip hop media. All right, so right, like so even if that was the case, that means nothing in 2024. Like you just sound like an old bitter hater.
That's my biggest gripe with most of these dudes is I don't care about who does. I think mad at these niggas shit is corny, and I never say nothing. I don't think Joe Budden got a corny podcast. I've listened to it before. I think he know how to talk. He's a wordsmith. He can make good content. I think a lot of them other niggas is corny. I think Elliot Wilson is whack. That nigga put you right to sleep. I like B-Dot. B-Dot my man, but I think B-Dot becomes whack being around Elliot Wilson.
There you go.
You understand? And this is just my God honest truth. Like I helped Wallow do the podcast from jail in 2017. I gave this nigga every advertiser I had while I was in jail because P&B Rock said my man just came home from jail. Can you help him?
Taxstone is having a hard time realizing that he is that dumb, ignorant dude. Like he's exactly what he's claiming he's not, bro, because you threw away your life. Like you crashed out. Like you went ahead and chose being big, bad, and tough over a multi-million-dollar illustrious podcasting career, bro. Use a dummy. Like, use a dummy, bro. Like, and he's having a hard time coming to this realization, bro. Even Joe Budden, like, will sneak diss him on Twitter after hearing this speech, just sort of laughing, bro, and making a mockery out of Taxstone being so reminiscent and talking about the good old days when he was on top and free. Joe will say, Alexa, play Mary J. Blige reminiscent crying emoji. Now, after hating on all the podcast greats, I guess he decided he was going to hate on the new up-and-coming great. I mean, if I'm going to be humble, man. He said he was going to hate on me, right? So Taxstone took to his Twitter to, I guess, attack me for being fat. I don't know, bro. So Taxstone took to his Twitter. Now, it's unclear exactly what made Taxstone upset because I haven't really spoken with Taxstone in a minute, but he told me that somebody told him that I was talking about him, which is what sparked this off. So he complimented my butt, which is like, come on, bro, you ain't Jill, but you can't speak like this, right? He says, I smell, bro, you ain't Jill, you can't really smell me, right? And then he says, where is my penis at? So he's worried about where my penis is at. I don't know, man. Like, this is just some weird stuff to me. I told Tax, man, no joke that a man who has to take a piss in front of another man for the rest of his life, and no joke that a man who showers only when he's told when he can shower, like, there's not a joke in the world that man can make that's going to affect me, bro, right? Now, he picked a photo where I was about 45 pounds heavier. That was when I was over 300 pounds, which is cool, you feel me? You know, you could have picked some updated photos, you feel me? But nonetheless, though, right, Tax? You can't hurt me. You know why? Right? Like, you know why Tax ain't hurt me, bro? Because I can go outside and refresh air. So until Taxstone can do that, bro, I don't got no response for that man. Now, if you're still watching, click on this video right here to find out about another shooting, all right? Or alleged shooting. Click on this video right here to find out why a lawyer said the Jean Suman no jumper won't end well. Click on this video right here to find out what I'm talking about. And Tax, if you're watching, man, I gotta get up and go outside and breathe a fresh air challenge, all right? Peace.